This is the collector on the corner, his wife, Debbie. He's outside playing with his car. He likes his toy. It's my darling handsome Randall.
Okay, we're going to do a little video on the old 55 Chevy. 15 years ago, I went to auction about 100 miles north here, up Sonoma, Missouri. This old car was up there. There wasn't no fenders on it, no hood, no wheels or tires as you could see. And the inside of it was packed full of 6-cylinder Chevrolet motors, some of them 292s and some of them 261s. They're all truck motors, manifolds and heads. It's full. Nothing on the front here, no, just a spindle sticking out. No hubs, no drums, nothing. Wasn't a steering wheel in it. The column was in it. The steering linkage was on it. I gave $150 for the car. And my buddies was there by me. One of them, right as soon as I got it, he wanted to start to buy these doors off me. Both of them 55 Chevy fanatics. They didn't own a 55 at that time. They wanted to buy the doors. I said, no, I don't believe I want to sell them doors. I believe I'll build a car out of that. And they kind of give me the horse laugh. Well, I went down the hill. There's a 55 four-door. And I bought it for $130, and it had this front cap on it. So I took my wrecker down there, and I bought a big pile of tires for $20, and I dug through them tires and found two that I could put on the front here of that four-door. I snatched it up on that little 64 Chevrolet wrecker. Anyway, and brought it home. Pulled the front spindles and everything off, bearings and all that stuff. Got what I needed, turned around, went right back up there. And it was 1 o'clock in the morning when I was up there, hot during the summertime. And I was up there in the dark, putting the wheels on the front of this where I picked the back end of it up my wrecker. And I thought, boy, that's going to be a load, all them old car engines in the back. And I cranked it up with the little wrecker, and to my surprise, a rear end fell down. I was sitting on the ground. Rear end fell down, 2 tires onto his flat. There was a rear end under that car. Didn't even think there was one in it. So I drug it home. And I come back. And I decided, well, I'm going to build me a car out of it. I pulled that front cap off that one. I pulled the clutch pedals and clutch linkage and all that stuff out of it, because that was all going out of it. And I had the bell housing out of the first 55 Chevy I ever owned. And so I had it. And I took the flywheel out of a V8 66 Chevrolet truck flywheel, 11-inch clutch, pressure plate, and I put it on this old motor right here. That little engine is a 66 283 come out of an old Impala. Got about 100,000 miles on it. And the only thing I have done to that engine is I changed the timing chain on it, because that nylon gear timing chain was shot. And I advanced the cam diamond 6 degrees. I put a set of headers on it. I've adapted a large Edelbrock carburetor to it. I've double springed the points and moved my coil up there on the firewall to keep it out of the deal, and I've recurved that distributor. That's all I've done to that motor. Hadn't done anything else. Change oil. That's it. This radiator come out of the first 55 I ever owned. It's 6-cylinder radiator. It's still in 6-cylinder position. It don't get hot. That alternator's off an old 66 Chevrolet truck. The wheel cylinders and front brake hose is the same as are for 64, 5, or 6 Chevrolet truck. I put them on there new. If you need to, that's stock master cylinder. I don't know what it's off of. It's off of something besides just 55, but it was a good one I had. But if you need a master cylinder for one of these, you can take the master cylinder off a 64, 66 truck. It'll bolt up to that firewall and work.
Oh, that's good.
But anyway, I used a stock 4-point mountain. Down here you can see the pedestals. I got it mounted on the bell housing. A lot of people put side mounts in these 55s and all that rigmarole. There is nothing wrong with the stock 4-point mountain. You just got to know what to do. And what you do.
What do you do, Randy?
What you do is you go down and buy you a set of rear motor mounts, brand new. Then you take a drill and you drill 2 3/8 holes through them. You take a couple 3/8 bolts and grind part of the head off. Stick it on the back side here. You either double nut it with a lock washer between there or use one of them elastic stop thread S-nut nuts. And you put that on there, and them back motor mounts will never come apart. That'll hold with any horsepower motor you want to put. That motor mount will hold. It won't move back, and the distributor won't hit the firewall or none of that problems that you commonly have with a Tri-5 Chevy. If you just do your motor mounts like that right there. And that's the front pedestal mounts. The ones for V8 say V8 right on them somewhere. It's stamped on there. They say 8. You see that 8 right there.
I'll hold it still.
The ones for 6-cylinder won't work on a V8.
I see it.
But this is a plain Jane businessman's coupe is what it was.
I thought it was the Sin wagon.
Anyway, no, it was no Sin wagon. It didn't have Rambler seats in it. And it was rusted out right here. Catch rate. And what I did, you can see that red paint on there. I don't believe in sanding on stuff. I cut the bedside off a 64, 5, or 6 Chevrolet truck and cut that out and welded that on there. It's pretty close to the stock 55. I did that on both sides. I did the same thing on this side around here. This side ain't quite as good, but I did this side. Now you can see my old 40-year-old tire there.
Oh, jeepers! Your 40-year-old tires are
Them was
out.
Them was on the back of my son's Chris's 64 Ford Fairlane. Them's Maverick wheels. What it is, I've got a 69 Ford Fairlane rear end under there that's a 1 inch narrower than a stock 55 rear end. And I've moved my springs inboard. They're well in line with the frame. And I didn't buy no spring pocket kit or none of that stuff. I did the same thing that them people from that magazine, Popular Hot Rodding, did with their Project X 57 Chevy. I did the same thing they did. Moved them springs inboard.
Cool.
I bought another 55 Chevy for $100, another old 4-door rusty wagon, just to get the back glass. And the varnish smoking goes around the back glass.
It looks like a pretty good back glass, don't it?
Anyway, on this side around here, I've worked on it a little bit.
We were just over there.
I cut me a piece of plexiglass for a window. Lantern glass.
Cool.
I've got plexiglass for the other side. I ain't put it in there. Them old torque truck mags, I had them. I don't remember where I got them, but I think they was on a little 64 Chevelle 283 4-speed car. I had a little red car, hardtop. I think they was on the front end where they come from. Okay. When you're fixing a 55 Chevy, the stock wheel bearings on them is like this. They're ball bearings. You got to keep them pretty tight. If you're going to drag race, get you some tapered rollers. And what that is, that's the hub from a 61 through 68 Chevrolet full-size car. And that'll bolt right on there, and that gives you tapered roller bearings. You don't want disc brakes because disc brakes tend to drag. And what you can do with a drum brake, you can adjust your brakes loose. Well, they ain't dragging. That makes it go faster. And see, I don't have no wipers in there. And like that guy from two-lane blacktop, they ain't no heater because they don't need no heater. It slows you down. Anyway.
You're not going to be driving in the rain anyway.
The bullet hole was, the 22 hole was already in that fender when I got it.
That's pretty cool.
And I'm not going to do a whole lot to the old car. It's about as done as it's going to get. It's got enough wiring to make it start and charge the battery. That's all I want. Every once in a while I get out here some spray cans of black primer and let the grandkids spray bomb paint it. And it wears right back off. Anyway, and I'm probably going to put a hood scoop on it one of these days right there. And what that is, the very first 55 Chevy I ever bought it from a guy named Eddie. Had a 265 in it, bored out to a 283 and a Carter F, B-carbon, dual glass packs on it, and a set of cat traction bars, an old 4-door 55. And this hood scoop was on it. And he told me that car run like a rape tape. That's the first time I'd ever heard that, but that's what Eddie said. And what this is, it's off a Lazy Boy lawnmower. But Eddie had put it on the hood.
Oh, jeepers.
But this was back in the 60s. And what I can do, I can sand that down and take all that Lazy Boy off her and polish that, see?
Don't take the Lazy Boy off.
Yeah, I was going to do that and put it on my 55. There was a hole cut in that other 55. I don't know where that hood went. But there was a hole cut in that other 55. You know, and he had 3 or 4 air cleaners stacked up on there, you know, about 3 high. Where you could look in there and see air cleaner through the hood scoop.
Ah, jeepers.
But anyway. Didn't know it at the time, but that old 55, the first one I bought, that thing wasn't rusty. It was a solid old car. And if I'd known what I know now, I would have kept it and converted it to a 2-door because it would have been an ideal candidate for a 2-door. And back there in them days, you could find 2-door doors, you know, without having to pay $500-600 a piece for them. You know, you could find a set of doors for $100, $50 a piece.
We didn't know what the future held.
You know, I didn't even know about converting one from a 4-door to a 2-door till I seen them videos on YouTube. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Uh-oh. Don't know where he's going.
This is a car I could have sold a lot of times. And I don't want to sell it. I got it cheap enough I can afford to keep it. I've got a stock 3-speed. I've got a stock 3-speed, and that's not a Saginaw transmission that came in these 55s. It's a monkey. It died, ain't it?
Yeah, you probably ran out of gas.
I might have run out of gas. I ain't got but a gallon in that can. I probably burned it all up. But anyway, the transmission that came in these was a 318 Muncie. If it was overdrive, it was a 319. But I got that 9-inch Ford rear end in there.
You got a Ford in a Chevy? That's against the law, ain't it?
Well, because I blew that
I know you blew
stock 55 rear end up the first time I tried that stuff I was doing here a while ago.
I remember.
But I have built another engine for this car.
Okay.
I've got a 69 327 in there, stock. Come out of Uncle John's old station wagon up there. And I tore it down. It wasn't wore bad. It's kind of dirty. He used that Quaker State oil. But it crank and everything was good in it. I honed the cylinders. I put new rings and mains and everything in it. And I put a 30-30 cam in it. And I put the heads that was on the very first 55 I ever had on it. They're got a stagger bolt pattern on the what holds the valve covers on. They're little power pack heads. They're fuelie heads, and they'd be worth a lot of money. They're 57 fuelie heads, and they'd be worth a lot of money, but they've been extensively modified. They've got bigger valves put in them. They've been ported and polished, and the intake's been matched to the gaskets, and they've really been reworked. They was on that first 55 I ever had. And I've got that motor built in there. And one reason I wanted to use them heads, I got a set of valve covers that I bought when I was a kid that Cal Custom got the fins on it, and them was only heads that they'll fit on because they're a stagger bolt. And I wanted to use them valve covers. So I eventually get that 327 put down in here, but I ain't blowed this 283 up yet.
Don't blow it up, jeepers.
Well, I'm gonna run it for a while. It's still a lot of fun. I mean, you see the old man out there, he was having fun, as much fun as is possible for anybody to have. I know,
but if the police would have showed up, would you kept it going?
Well, usually I can get back parked in here before somebody gets on the cell phone and calls the law, and that old trooper will go by real slow and gawking. But it's late enough in the evening, Maybe if somebody wasn't jealous or something, and cell phones don't get out here either. They got to get down the road about 2 mile or 2 mile that way or up on that way. This is a dead zone. The cell phone don't work right here anyway. But anyway, she says I need to do a 55 Chevy video, so I did a 55 Chevy video. And I know what I didn't show.
That's because it's cool. I'm a-coming.
I've got enough room under there that I can get them big Hoosier slicks on the back of here. And I've got traction bars on it.
How old are they?
Well, they're pretty old.
I can tell, Grandpa.
Yeah, they're old. I don't know if I need to put them on there and take it down to George Ray's with them on there.
Well, that one over there looks like you run over a sharp marshmallow. It's going to pop.
Well, that slick's still got a little life left to them. There's barely any cord showing on the edges.
Cheapers, geezer.
But they will fit under there and clear without cutting the wheel wells. But this is all pretty solid. This back.
Whatever you say, old man.
This back deal. And it still had the 55 bumper on it.
Yay. That makes it all worth it.
But I ain't never going to wire up turn signals and lights and all that stuff.
Why? You got your arm. You can poke it out the window.
No, I'm never going to use it for a street car. It's just it's not, they overuse it. It's not a gasser. It's just an old hillbilly drag car. Is what it is.
Well, I couldn't afford to go buy the groceries
but there's no advantage to pulling
fill up the back anyway.
There's no advantage to pulling that independent front suspension off and putting a straight axle under a car for drag racing. You don't save a pound on the weight, and all you did was fix a car that would turn to where it's only good for going in a straight line.
Well,
That's
what's
all
wrong
you've
with
done.
that?
You ain't gained nothing. But, a lot of people do it. But this one here's got that Hollywood frame in it, they call it. It's seamless frame. It's supposed to weigh 40 pounds less than a regular frame, and a wagon's supposed to have better weight distribution than a sedan or anything. So you got that. But it didn't come from California. It come from Janesville, Wisconsin is where this car was born at, where it was made at.
I'll be darned.
It got a little rust right there.
Oh, that.
But what that does, that makes it a little bit lighter on the front end.
Oh, cheapers, slap some Bondo on it.
Well, that's probably what I'll do. I'll probably hammer that down a little bit and lay some screen wire in there and put some Bondo in there.
Just get you some of them there, what do they call them,
eyebrows,
and put you some eyebrows on it.
I've got a set of fenders back up there in a van that ain't got no rust in them. But, you know, why
It's
why
unique.
fix it if it ain't broke?
That's right. It's a Randy car.
Yeah, it's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that's about all the 55 Chevy video. We got some more old junk ones back there. Be worth fixing, I guess. I don't know. I had a guy one time lay 65 $100 bills on the hood here trying to buy it. I told him, I said, oh, that's more money than that old car's worth. I just don't want to sell it. I got it cheap enough I can afford to keep it. And to date, I've got less than $1,000 in the old car.
That's pretty
I
good.
haven't spent $1,000 on it.
I can
total.
tell.
All total. You know, so, and one of the grandkids, if he was here and somebody asked about it, he says, he'll tell them, see that 55 Chevy? That's mine. I'm going to fix it up someday. So if they're sitting around waiting on me to die off, it ain't going to do them no good. They're going to wait till that little fella dies off, you know. So I guess that's all for this one. Goodbye and good luck to y'all. Have a good one.
Thank y'all, and please like and subscribe. Bye.